Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. Where are you joining us from? Let's have some messages in the chat. Let me see. We already have 114 people. I'm going to say hi to a few familiar names. Wow, there's a lot of people here, a lot of familiar faces. Hi, Neil. Hi, June. Ali Reza. Our friends from Eagle View Immigration. Already 123 people. Thank you, everybody, for joining. We're going to start in a few minutes. It's 11:01. We're going to start at 11:05 as usual. And the topic for today for our webinar is Significant Benefit Work Permit Program. We have our special guest who I'm going to introduce in a few as soon as we get started. We're very excited about our topic today because this is definitely a very popular subject. So we're really happy to share all the knowledge that our guest is bringing today. Where are you joining from? Let us know. Vancouver, Toronto, Dubai, Ontario, Toronto, Nigeria. Welcome. Germany, we have Tom from Germany as well. We have some immigration lawyers, some immigration consultants, some people interested in the program, some applicants. Hello, Alif from Ontario. It's great to have you, Alif. We have 143 people already. We're gonna wait just a couple of minutes to get started. Egypt, Wakas from Calgary, Alaressa Manzur from Ottawa. Thank you, Alaressa, for joining and supporting our webinars. We already have 143 people. So we're gonna get started in just a few. For those who are just coming into our webinar, the topic today is Significant Benefit Work Permit Program from the International Mobility Program, the C11. We're going to have a wonderful special guest that I'm going to introduce in just a few. And given the popularity of this topic, we're really excited to share a lot of information about it during our webinar. A few minutes to go. If we reach 150, I'm going to get started a little bit earlier, if that's okay with everybody. As you know, usually everybody who registers to our webinars, at the end, once the live event is over, you will receive a recording immediately that is coming from an email from the software that we use, which is Livestorm. So you're going to be getting the recording right away. Also, our intention today, I'm going to make a brief introduction. We're going to go through some topics with our guest. And then at the end, we're going to have a few minutes, around 10 minutes for questions. So if you do have questions, I encourage you to include them in the questions tab on the right side, not on the chat, so that they can be picked by me for Nava to reply at the end. Okay? Okay. Okay, everybody, we're ready. We're all set. This is our webinar. We have enough people to get started. So hello again, everybody. It's a pleasure to have you all join our webinar. The topic today, as you know, is Significant Benefit, a work permit program from the International Mobility Program. My name, as you know, is Marianella Manzur. I'm the Global Director of Sales and Marketing at Joorney Business Plans. As many of you already know, Joorney supports partners and clients with immigration business plans, not only in Canada, but also in the US for many different programs. And one of the programs that we do that for is Significant Benefit. I want to say hello to our sales team. We have Tanya, Uros, Petar on the sales side, and also on our on the marketing side, we have Rachel and Dragana. I want to thank you girls for all the hard work. This would not be possible without you. So thank you to our sales and marketing team. So about the Significant Benefit, it's a program that has become very popular these days. We're currently preparing many business plans for many different industries and business models currently. And we have gathered a lot of different questions that our partners and clients have, and that's why we brought this topic here today, okay? We started doing webinars back in early 2021 through the challenging COVID times that we all faced. Thankfully, things are getting back to normal. I am fortunate to say that the guest that we have today with us I have had the great pleasure of meeting her in person. She's a wonderful lawyer. She's a beautiful person. She's full of amazing professionalism, great care for her clients, and working with a greater purpose to support immigration through her work. I want to introduce you to Nava Elmi from Nava Elmi Immigration Law Firm.
Thank you so
Welcome,
much.
Nava.
Thank you very much, Marianella, for this beautiful introduction, and hello to everyone. It's a subject that I was very interested in speaking because there is a lot of unknown about the Significant Benefit. A lot of the people I speak with either have never heard about it or don't know much about it. So hopefully we will be able to bring in some benefit to this to people who may be looking into immigrating to Canada as an entrepreneur. And just as a brief overview, this program is truly made for people who want to immigrate to Canada as an entrepreneur, as a business person, and actively manage a business. So our firm is located in downtown Toronto, and we help everyone that wants and can immigrate to Canada, but we mostly specialize in business immigration. So business immigration, there is not just one program, but several business immigration programs. And it happens that the C11 Significant Benefit Work Permit is one of those programs. So right at the beginning, when we meet with an applicant, that's really important to sit down, to go through all of their background, the industry, the type of business they have been working in, the type of business they may have owned before, their education, the family, their immigration background, before we can advise them on whether to go with Significant Benefit or not, or another program. And the reason why I say that is because today is only going to be an overview, a high-level overview of this program. And at the end of the day, all cases are truly unique, and we do need to sit down and go through the background of each person before advising.
Thank you, Nava. It's a pleasure to have you here. We're so happy to have you join us. We know that you're originally from Paris, that you are now in Toronto. You have a wonderful law firm. We've been working together for a few, and I'm really excited that we had the opportunity to invite you and that you accepted to talk about this popular topic that a lot of people are here today to listen about how it is that it works, and the basics, and also some of the complexities of what the program brings. So if you'd like, Nava, let's start with an overview of the C11, who is eligible, a little bit of the details of the program itself.
Sure. Do you want to share the presentation?
Certainly. Here we have it.
Very good. So the C11 significant benefit should be considered if you want to own and manage a business in Canada. The business can be a new business or it can be buying an existing business. Number two, like any other business programs, you need to have the financial capacity to operate that business. And we will come back to what is the financial part, financial capacity truly means here. Number three, you need to have something that is unique, a product, a knowledge, a service that will bring something new to the Canadian market, to the region, to the city you want to open the business in. And that business needs to bring a significant economic or social or cultural benefit to Canada. And this is truly the key of this program. As the name indicates, it's called significant benefit. And we will go through more details about it. Lastly, it's about your experience. You should also consider opening a business that is somehow related to your background. Just because it all makes sense, when an immigration officer will look at your case, they will look at whether this business will be viable. And one of the metrics they're going to look at is how much experience you are bringing in. So this is truly the base of what you need to know about this program.
That's wonderful, Nava, that you mentioned the importance of the significant benefit component, of course. This is a question that we get asked a lot. And it's also one of the reasons why the business plan also becomes a vital part of the whole process. What does it mean that a business is providing significant benefit? And I think this is like one of the most important points of the whole webinar itself.
Yeah, exactly. So the significant benefit has no legal definition. And this plays in our favor because it means that there is a lot of room to play with. There is a lot of flexibility. That being said, there are some guidelines that show us what could some benefits be for immigration. So number one, we are talking about job creation. How many jobs, if any, is your business going to create? What type of knowledge are you going to bring to those employees that you're going to hire? And it's not going to be just the knowledge to your employees. It could be a knowledge in an entire industry. Is your knowledge or product or services going to help an industry move ahead in Canada? Another type of benefits is, does it bring something that is culturally impacted? Do you bring a knowledge, a savoir-faire, a know-how from a specific country that is unique to that country? Are you going to settle in a specific location where your business will help that city, that region be economically more flourishing? Is your business going to help export? And these are just some of the examples that we could look at when we think about significant benefit. And the word significant is very much discretionary, and it all depends on a case-by-case basis and how you're going to argue it.
Mm-hmm. And I believe, Nava, that's where the importance lies of the immigration professional, right? Because that's where the strategy is set to determine that a certain applicant is eligible, and in what way you can strategize that significant benefit to make it eligible, correct?
Completely, exactly. Mm-hmm. And that's why there is not one case that is similar to another. It's truly looking at the entire spectrum here. And we start somewhere with the basic idea that the applicant has, and then that's up to us to help them navigate what else they could bring to the table, how else to structure the business concept, the legal argumentation to make a stronger case.
Correct.
A lot of time applicants do not know truly, they need examples. They want to know what type of businesses could potentially fit into that significant benefit program. And it's extremely wide. So I do know that we have discussed together, and you have mentioned as well that Joorney has also seen a wide range of industries, and this has been pretty much the same for us. So just to give you some examples of what we have seen, it could be application in tech industry. It could be a music center. It was bakeries that are have a French input in it, that have a Nigerian input in it. Again, significant benefit that brings an economic, social, or cultural input to it. It was also a logistic company that we work with, an ice cream shop, a business that was in construction and had a specific material to bring to the Canadian market. So you see here how wide our clients were, and that there is no limitation on the type of industry.
Exactly. I can see that, Nava, and I was also very surprised because when we spoke, I spoke to the operations team and I asked, hey, what are the main industry that we work with the C11 significant benefit? And I thought I was gonna get a little bit more of a categorized list where we saw different industry repeat themselves, but I was surprised because it wasn't. We have, like you mentioned, we have people offering music classes. We have consulting in financing, in business. We have wholesale of pet supplies. We have medical equipment, marketing. We have construction, like you mentioned as well. We have some things in digital, in the digital realm. Consulting for oil and energy. So many different things and so many different angles of how they presented the significant benefit for their particular case, that it is an array of different industries and possibilities. But like you say, it depends on how it is shown, right?
Exactly.
So I'd like to ask you, Nava, so besides the creativeness of developing those immigration strategies, what are the minimum requirements of the program?
Yeah, so we saw an overview. However, I'm going to go a little bit more into the specificities of the conditions. We spoke about the uniqueness of the service product, knowledge. We went through of what could potentially be considered as significant benefit. We also touch base on the relevant background and experience that you have in that business that you want to do in Canada. And in order for us to assess that background, we'll look into a lot of different parameters here. We'll look at your portfolio. Are you an artist that have some portfolio to showcase? Do you have any articles that were written about you and about your business where you featured anywhere? What about your employment contracts? We'll look at every single terminology in those employment contracts. We'll look at any awards you may have had, any certificates that you may have taken to keep up to date with your industry, to be at the forefront of your industry. And all of these are just to give you an idea of what we look at. And then it's about the share ownership that is also very important. You need to be minimum a shareholder out of 50%. And usually we do not even advise to be only a 50% owner. We advise to be way more than that. If not 100%, at least 70, 80%. a shareholder. And the reason is because one of the criteria that immigration looks at is the control, the level of control that you have in your business. And control will be defined as how many room you have in order to make decisions for your business. So being a key decision maker is related to your percentage of ownership.
Okay. That's very, very interesting, because I mean it's what can make a case stronger in different perspectives. So that's very interesting to know. Now that we've cleared the overviews, the minimum requirements, can you tell us a little bit about what the steps are? How long does it take? And what can you do when you get a work permit for the significant benefit?
Yeah, of course. So the steps before we even apply for a work permit will be to do market research to make sure that the business is doable, is feasible in Canada, to do a business plan. And I work with Joorney on this end, and they provide huge value to me and to my clients. It's sometimes also about incorporating the business upfront to show to immigration that you have more than just a plan, more than just a business plan. The other very important component is the business development that you will do. Have you already spoken with some people in your industry? Have you already reached out to some associations? Are you already a member of these associations? How much footprint do you already have in Canada before moving ahead and asking for a work permit? So on average, it takes us about 2 to 3 months to prepare such application. Once this is done, we apply for the work permit. The work permit can take anywhere between 2 weeks to approximately 8 months. Because don't forget,
that's a big range.
That's a big range. And the reason is because these applications are being processed outside of Canada in the visa office where you are located.
Okay.
So one visa office may have a very quick processing time. And it happened to us to have decisions as quickly as 2 weeks. And other visa offices will take longer because they will have a huge backlog, and it will take up to 8 months.
Okay.
But that being said, it's still very reasonable timing compared to sometimes other Canadian programs as well as to other countries. Once you submit the work permit, you have the approval, you come to Canada, and then you move, you open the business. So if you allow me, I'm going to change.
I'm sorry.
We are pretty much here. So we have submitted the work permit here. And then most of the applicants will want to consider applying for permanent residency. And applying for permanent residency, there are different ways of getting permanent residency. And this is what we sit down and review with the applicant right at the beginning. At the first consultation that we have with an applicant, we ask them, what are your short-term goals? What are your long-term goals? And if you are mainly going to look into staying in Canada permanently and managing your business, then we need to strategize for the long road. Applying for permanent residency will take at least 1 year. In between that, your initial work permit may expire and we will need to apply for renewal of your work permit. Once you have your permanent residency, you need to stay in Canada physically for at least 2-3 years. It doesn't need to be continuous, but the residency part, the number of days that you will accumulate, will be key in order to be eligible to apply for citizenship and citizenship means passport.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this is truly the overall steps of the process.
Thank you, Nava, for that. It's very insightful, and it's great that you mentioned this, because sometimes people are only looking at the initial step. How can I get the significant benefit approved? And it's great to know that ideally the strategy is set for what comes after. So that's a very big component of how the process should look like overall. So I have a few questions that I'm seeing here and there about regarding the industries that we were mentioning, the different businesses. Do you think there are any that have a strongest rate of approval? And also overall, do you have any numbers, any data that we can see about what the success rate is for these C11 applications?
Yeah. So with regards to the industries, there is nowhere in the law or even in the immigration guidelines that will say we prefer this type of businesses, this type of industries. Some other programs may have that, but this program doesn't, which again leaves a lot of room for any industry. That being said, Canada loves everything that is tech. As long as you say the word technology, IT in it, it will have another pair of eyes looking at it, that's for sure. If you say manufacturing, it's also key. If you say farming, it's also very valuable. And at the end of the day, it's called significant benefit. So like any other business immigration programs, we are going to look at the investment you're going to put in, not solely the industry. You may invest nothing in a tech industry, but may invest millions into a manufacturing industry or a consulting business. So it's a lot of different criteria to look at.
Okay, wonderful. That's good to know. And what you say, Nava, it is something that we do see in our business plans of all the different programs, not only significant benefit, but Canada as a whole, Canada immigration as a whole seems to be rooting always for tech, for manufacturing, for anything that is innovative, anything that, like you were mentioning, has knowledge being transferred from other countries to here, so that they can say, let's bring in these businesses, these applicants, so that they can contribute to the economy and the country itself, right?
Exactly. But the examples that we have provided at the beginning, like an ice cream shop, a music center, have nothing to do with these fancy tech companies or the other industries that I just mentioned, and they still went through. So it just shows that you still could potentially look at this program even if you are not within those type of industries.
Great. That's definitely great to know. Sorry, let me hand the slides to you, Nava.
No problem.
I think
Can you ask me another
you
question?
Yeah,
You
about
asked
the
me about
success rate.
the success rate.
Yes.
So I have put here a table that will provide you with some basic data here. An overview since 2011 to 2020, how many applications under this program were received, how many were approved, how many were refused, and what is the approval rate. So what we see is that the number of applications have constantly increased. However, the rate of approval is decreasing, which means to us that probably there is a lot of demand for business immigrants that wants to come and open their own business or buy an existing business. However, the applications may not have been put together thoroughly enough to have an approval on it. So I don't know if you have any specific question here. For 2020, we see, for example, that the approval rate was 64%. We also, if we compare to 2011, we see that the approval rate was 80%, but you also need to take into consideration the number of applications that were received. So we're talking
it has
about
basically tripled, right?
Yeah, exactly. From 80 application in 2011 to 267 in 2020. We also see a little bit of a decrease in the number of applications received in 2020 compared to 2019. So 332 applications compared to 267, which
because of COVID?
Probably, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is very interesting. I mean, on a personal level, I thought there were more applications. I think the number after 2020 is going to be really different than the number that is there. And also for 2022, I think there should be a very, very strong increase there because of people maybe looking for options instead of the owner operator, Nava. And I wanted to know your opinion about that, about how this program can be an alternative for the owner operator.
Yeah, certainly. So with regards to the number of applications received, I'm not that surprised because it's very, very rare that we have an applicant that will come to us and say, I want to apply under the significant benefit. They just don't know about it. There are a lot of promotions on opening a branch under the ICT program. There is a lot of promotion on the startup visa program, but the significant benefit is not yet known that much. With regards to, the immigration programs a lot of time open and closes. So the owner operator program that was in place for many years has been remodeled. It's not disappearing. You still can apply under an LMIA. You still can apply for an LMIA, but it will not be called an LMIA owner operator anymore. And your business will have to be running for at least 1 year before you can apply or even think about the owner operator LMIA application. So for someone who doesn't have yet a business in Canada or doesn't have a business yet running for 1 year, the significant benefit work permit is certainly a program to at least consider.
Okay, that's good to know. And that topic that you just mentioned now is something that is very important, and that we hear that people have questions about it. Should the individual or their business idea already be established for the significant benefit to be an option for them? And I guess you just answered it, but go ahead.
No, that's a very good question that we get all the time, and the answer is by law, no. By law, you do not need to already have a business set up in Canada before applying for the significant benefit work permit. However, if you want to increase the chances of approval, the risk that you are taking upfront by opening a business, registering your business, and investing into your business upfront is also very valuable to immigration. And not only for this program. In general, for many of the business immigration programs, the business developments as well as the steps you are taking before applying are truly key to the success of an application.
Okay, Nava, and I have a question there. So you mentioned ownership of more than 50%, right? So if there is somebody who hasn't established the business, how can they prove that ownership to be a certain percentage, or do you only explain what is going to happen in the future?
We like to incorporate the business, and in the incorporation, you have the shareholder agreement as well. So if you have partners, then the shareholder agreement will show it. Yeah.
Okay, thank you for that, Nava. That's really insightful. I wanted to ask, overall, I want your opinion on what are the three main recommendations that you would give to an applicant to increase their chances of approval. I know you've mentioned incorporating the business, but maybe if you have a few others that can shine a light, and give people like a bit of a recommendation as to how to go about this.
Yes, of
Right?
course.
Sorry,
So let me,
go ahead.
no problem. So, um, first of all, meet the conditions. We have gone through it. It's the base of this application. You need to do business development upfront. I have mentioned and I have emphasized on that as well. Business development could be many things. It will be tailored to the needs of your business, but it could be getting some letters from some associations in Canada that are linked to your industry. It could be becoming a member of a specific organization that will maybe be able to open their network to you, that will facilitate finding potential distributors, find potential suppliers, potential clients, getting in touch with some chamber of commerces, etc., etc. And our firm does as well a little bit of business development for our clients. We do put them in touch with all our network, because at the end of the day, the success of our clients are our success. And we are a business, we are a law firm, we are a business as well, and we do value tremendously what a network could provide. I want to go back to that slide as well, because the business plan is also tremendously important. And I have been working with the Joorney's team, and they do know what are our expectations for the business plan. So usually how I work with Joorney is that I provide them with a brief of what the client is about, their background, the type of application we're going to do. And I also provide them with a checklist of the documents that I will provide in my application, because all of these will make the business plan stronger. And I also need to emphasize in the business plan the jobs that will be created or the jobs that will be maintained. So it means there has to be a very good staffing plan included in the business plan. Then the investment amount. If you have 20,000 to invest into your business, that will be a risky application compared to at least 200,000. Okay. Don't forget the name of this program is called Significant Benefit. And it will be hard for any business to have a lot of impact without a lot of investment, unless you can prove me otherwise. Again, it depends. It's a case-by-case basis. Then it's about also emphasizing on the industry. What is your industry? Is it a lack in your industry in Canada? Who are your competitors here? Have you already looked into your competitors? How would you differentiate yourself with your competitors? Something else that is also valued tremendously in this program is your location. Where are you going to be located? Are you going to be located in downtown Toronto? Or are you going to be located in a rural region, for example? And all of Canada is way more than just Montreal, Vancouver, and Toronto. So all of the rest of the regions are trying to economically flourish. So they welcome entrepreneurs who are willing and looking into settling their business in their region.
This is a very good point. Sorry, Nav, I interrupted you. This is a very good point that you mentioned, because sometimes we see significant benefit business plans made for businesses that you wouldn't think are bringing any benefit itself, but then you look at the angle that the immigration professional is putting into it, and then you talk about the cultural benefit. If that, let's say a restaurant, is located in a rural location or a not so populated location, and it's bringing in culture from abroad within their menu, within their company, their business, the way they do things, that is different, the food that they offer, how they serve it, a lot of different things. And only because of the location where it's going to be, where you don't have restaurants like that, that would be the angle for that strategy. So it was, I mean, it is very interesting to see how immigration professionals are very creative to determine that significant benefit.
Exactly. Truly agree with what you just mentioned. And this is where we have some margin of flexibility as well. Because if you settle a business that already exists everywhere else, but not in that specific region, it still makes it unique for that region.
Correct.
Yeah. So I want to go back to, at the end of the day, what are the advantages of this program? Why would you consider this program over something else? So we already touched base on the timing. You can get to Canada as quickly as 2 weeks, depending on the visa office, depending on your location and your citizenship for most of the cases. That's one thing, and compared to other immigration programs that could take up to 1 year, if not more, before coming here. The other advantage is that there is no minimum net worth and there is no minimum investment. However, you do need to demonstrate that you have already the financial capacity to operate this business. So let me give you some example. If you are bringing here a consulting business where you only need yourself, an assistant, and 2 computers, you're not going to need that much capital as if you were opening a manufacturing company. The manufacturing company will probably eat millions right away. The consulting company will depend on your needs and your type of business that you have. So we very much say that we do business immigration because we do need to look at the business strategy, at least an overall, along with the immigration, and bring all of this together. The other advantage that is also important is that you are free to open that business anywhere in Canada. It is a federal application. It is not provincially linked. And this is also another reason why this application can be faster than a provincial application. Because you do not need to first have the approval of a province. As long as you meet the condition, the application is put together, we send it, and then we wait for the result. Mm-hmm. There is no different stages here.
Okay, that's really interesting, Nava, and I'm glad you brought up like the importance of the whole process and everything that you need to do and the advantages that come with this program. There are a lot of people here in this webinar today, including lawyers, immigration consultants, and also some applicants. And for the immigration lawyers and consultants who perhaps do not have a lot of experience in preparing these applications, do you work with other immigration professionals on a case-by-case basis, maybe supporting each other? That would be something interesting for our audience to know.
Yes, absolutely. So we have younger lawyers, we have consultants as well that come to us and ask us for shadowing, and we do work hand in hand with them in order to provide them with the needs they may have. It's always on a case-by-case basis. We do look at what is the background of that consultant and lawyer. What is the understanding of immigration law in general, and what are the needs? And accordingly, we tell them how we may be able to work with them and help them.
Wonderful, Nava. Can we add your email to our chat so that people who want to reach out to you can do it by email? Is that okay?
Of course, yes.
Wonderful. So let's add your email. Which one, Nava? So I'll write it here.
Let me here.
Okay, perfect. Immigration at navaelmilawyer.com. And this is very important because I think the amount of applications has been increasing because this is a very good option that perhaps people have not explored enough, given the lack of knowledge. So I really feel that through this webinar and everything that you have mentioned, we can really share much of the knowledge, maybe like spark up a little bit of curiosity from more immigration professionals looking at this as an option, reaching out to you, how they can offer this to people who are eligible, to applicants who want to come to Canada. So I think that it's all about sharing the knowledge, right? And I appreciate that you mentioned the importance of the business plan behind this. For us, it is a pleasure to work with immigration lawyers and immigration consultants who either have the knowledge or also work with somebody who has the knowledge, because we are supporting the whole process by making sure that everything that immigration wants to see is included in that business plan. But that can only be possible if that component of significant benefit, the eligibility, and that immigration strategy is set in that document. And that, of course, only comes from the legal professional. So that is something very important to point out. We have the significant benefit business plan. The price that we offer it is $2,000. The turnaround time that we have for that business plan is 7 to 10 business days, and we offer unlimited revisions until the immigration professional and the applicant consider it to be the final draft. And then after that, it would be part of the application that usually our partners and clients will include to get approved. So we are happy to be part of that process and be able to support with our service in order to bring more significant benefit to Canada overall. So I'm really happy about doing that, and especially working with you, Nava. It's a real pleasure, because every time we do a business plan, we learn so much more about what it is that we need to emphasize in those business plans to make it better, not only for you, but for all other applicants that are coming to Canada within that program. So thanks a lot for that, Nava.
My pleasure, always.
Great. Nava, are you okay with us jumping to the questions now?
Of course.
I
see a lot of them. I haven't read them, but I see that there are active participants here.
The questions tab is on fire, I can tell you. We have about 12 minutes. Maybe we'll do 5 minutes more. We have 65 questions on the list, so I'll try to get those that we haven't touched on, or maybe emphasize on some of the things that people want to know. So let's see. Let's get started. Let me see. Okay, some people are asking for fees. I think that would be great if you can reach out to Nava specifically on her email to talk about this program. Mohammed Nasmul asks us, can someone apply for this program if he or she have been refused previously under an ICT?
Yes, it is possible, but you need to look at why you were refused under the ICT. So it does happen that we consider the significant benefit program when we think that the ICT will be weak for any reason. So a refusal doesn't mean that you cannot reapply either for the same program or for another program. But we do need to dive in deep into the reason of the refusal.
Okay, understood. I have a question from Amir Bayat. should the applicant run a related business as in their home country? And is business management experience needed for this type of immigration?
Ideally, you should have already a lot of experience in what you will do in Canada. And what was the other part of the question?
The business management experience?
Of course, we touched base on that right at the beginning. It touched on the viability of the business. If you don't have business management in your home country, it will be difficult for an immigration officer to project the success of this business in Canada. They want to see, and you don't need to be a business owner. You can be a senior manager working for many years, or for some years at least, for a company, and demonstrate that managerial skills.
Okay, I have a curious person to know. That's Neil Diamond. Hi, Neil. What visa offices are processing within 2 weeks?
You have Vienna that is processing within 2 weeks.
Okay.
Currently, yeah.
Okay, that's wonderful. More clients from Vienna. Beirut Ravi asked us.
Sorry, just on this question, Vienna is handling a lot of different countries, not just Australia. Yeah.
Okay, which ones, Nava? Just to know.
Eastern Europe.
Okay, wonderful.
Yes.
Beirut Rabi asks, does proof of language proficiency, is proof of language proficiency important?
It's not mandatory at all. It depends on the country you're coming from. So if you are, for example, from the Middle East and the first language there is usually not English or French, then we may advise to maybe take the test if they are willing to, but that's not mandatory.
Okay. We have a question from Jean Jayaraj. How do you show the investment? Does a business bank account work? The understanding is that a foreigner cannot open a bank account unless physically present in Canada.
Yes, we do show it through bank statements.
From abroad?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Okay.
And we do show on that, my apologies, on that we show the net worth. We don't show only the money in the bank.
Okay.
And for example, it could be properties. If you have tons of properties, it could be also easy to add up to your net worth.
Okay, perfect. We have a question. This one was already answered, but I'm going to mention it again. Does Nava do consulting, co-counseling, or partnering with consultants? So for that, June, she has different creative ways of supporting other immigration professionals. So we encourage you to reach out to the email that we included in the chat. Okay, so I'll answer that one for you. We have a question from Arshdeep Singh. Does an already established business increase the chances of approval? So Nava also mentioned that it is highly encouraged, and it's one of the recommendations that she gives for this particular application.
Yes.
Let me see. How much do you charge for a business plan? That one's for me. So Malik Adnan, for this business plan for significant benefit, we charge $2,000. And what we do is that once you decide, we'll send you a contract and an invoice. Once it's signed and paid, we would be sending you a questionnaire. Once you give that questionnaire back, we will do a little bit of a back and forth with the team. And then we will write the document in 10 business days, deliver a first draft to the applicant and or the immigration professional behind the application. And then we'll do back and forth with their revisions. Usually they're not a lot because our first drafts are almost the finished document. And then as soon as you decide, we do a small design, but then the price for it is going to be $2,000. Of course, if you work with Nava directly, we already have, we provide services for her, so you can decide if you do it through us or through Nava as well. Okay. Mohammed Nazmul mentions, what is the difference with the ICT program?
So ICT is for people who already have a business back home and who wants to open a branch in Canada. So it means that the business back home is not closing. You are maintaining that business and you are opening a branch, an affiliate, a parent company, a subsidiary in Canada. That's the difference.
Okay.
Marianella, I see a question from Gonzalo that touches franchises. And if you don't mind, I'm going to answer this because I do get that question very often. This program fully allows you to also apply as a franchisee. So you could open a business. One type of business you could open could be a franchise. So it is totally doable. You do need to start already the conversation with the franchisor, go through the due diligence, have a letter of intent from the franchisor. So move a few steps ahead. And yes, it could be a health and wellness franchise. If it makes sense for your profile, why not?
Okay. We have a question from Bazam Al Saif. Does a visitor visa help for the C11 application?
If you use the visitor visa to come to Canada and look at the at the business side of things as for an exploratory visit, for example, and you can demonstrate that you use that visitor visa to undertake some basic market research, yes, it could be helpful. But if you just have a visitor visa that you used once 10 years ago to come and see a cousin, it's not going to be that relevant to this type of application.
Okay, that's good. And I wanna quickly jump in. Nava has mentioned feasibility analysis and market research. So I just wanted to mention that aside from the business plan that we do for this program, we also support on preliminary market research before going to the immigration side of things. So if that is something that you or your clients may need, we can also support you on that regard. Okay. The company should be, Mariam Haji, the company should be a federal corporation or a provincial corporation?
Doesn't matter, depends on you.
Okay.
I have another question. I see the same question a few times from Niaz Brohi as well as Kalpana. It's about the investment. So although we have mentioned that there is no minimum investment amount set in the law, we do like to give an approximate, a minimum that we deem is significant enough for this program. And without knowing your industry or the type of businesses you will do, it's difficult for us to answer that. However, to give you an idea, we usually say a minimum of 200,000 Canadian dollars to be invested within year 1 and year 2.
Okay. How soon, Nadia Romanova asks, how soon after getting a work permit can you apply for the PR?
1 year.
Okay. There's a question from Batul. Have you ever had experience with applicants for C11 who were refugees in their current country? What are the chances of approval?
I have not, but I have had all the type of application with refugees. The difficulty is that they first need to know if they can come back to that country where they claim refugee status. If I understood the question, they fled the country, they are in another country, and there are refugee claimants in that country.
Okay.
So if this is the case, then they first need to talk with an immigration lawyer in their country and confirm that their work authorization would allow them to return to their home country. And then it's about looking at how well settled they are in that country they are claiming refugee from. Because don't forget that no matter if it's for this application or any other work permit application, it is still a work permit application. So it's still temporary in essence, at least. The first work permit that you do, you need, and the renewal of the work permit, you still need to show ties to your home country. because it's not a PR, permanent residency application from the get-go. It's first a work permit. So if your ties with that country are still minimal, you're gonna increase the chances of refusal. And we had refugee claimants who already had businesses for years in their new country, but their refugee process took many years as well. So they had time to settle, to have a family, to have a business, etc.
Okay. I have a question from Ovidio Jimenez. What happens if my client already has a work permit as an accompanying husband, but still he's interested in C11 and establishing a business in Canada?
So is the applicant already in Canada on a closed work permit working for a company, and now he wants to open his own company?
Let's see if we hear from Ovidio.
So it's not an issue to change category of work permits, but you have to see if it's worth it.
Okay. Let me see. Okay, and a little bit in the lines of the same question, Mustafa Baker asks, what if the client is inside Canada as a visitor? Can he change the condition from visitor to worker in that particular case? And will the work permit processing time be faster in that case?
You can physically be in Canada and apply as a visitor and apply for a work permit. However, your work permit will still be sent to a visa office overseas. So it's not necessarily going to be faster.
Okay. So hopefully you get Vienna. Right?
It depends on your country of citizenship.
And where they're from, of course. Oh, okay. Leila Mayhem asks, is there no LMIA exemption document?
I'm not understanding the question.
I believe if there is a need for an LMIA exemption document for the application.
Well, like any other LMIA exempt work permit, you do need to take extra steps in order to demonstrate that. Yes. Okay. But our firm handles all of this.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Eloy Mariategi asks, so no need to incorporate or buy the company to apply necessarily?
Not necessarily, but it will be increasing your chances.
Okay. For many people applying, we have a question from Neil Diamond. They need the senior manager NOC 00. What does that mean as far as hiring staff? How many? Over what time? I don't know if that's too specific.
I'm not understanding the question. Is it about how many employees you need to hire, or is it about the hire?
Yeah, how many and over what period of time along the year?
Okay. You can hire 2 senior positions and pay them more than 100K per year, and these 2 positions will generate 50 new jobs within 5 years. Or you can hire 13 waiters within year 1. It's very depending on your industry, but the more, and the needs of your business, the more people you can hire, the faster, the stronger your application will be.
Okay.
But you need to also look at the financials behind it. Do you have currently the financials to hire that many applicants?
Okay.
So the financial forecast as well in the business plan are tremendously important.
Okay. Karen Holy asks, when to choose C10 or C11 for an entrepreneur?
C10 is mostly an employee. I wouldn't use a C10 for a business owner, for shareholder. I will use C11 for business owner and not C10. I will use C10 for an employee.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. So let me see. We have another question. Are you required to demonstrate how your business will provide all of the three benefits, cultural, social, and economic, or is it enough to demonstrate just one of the three benefits?
You can only demonstrate one of those benefits.
Okay.
Okay.
And okay, go ahead. Sorry, no.
But again, the more you can provide, the better.
Okay.
And it's very rare that we have a case. I cannot even recall one applicant that had only one benefit. There is a lot to argue for any type of business.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, so Ovidio Jimenez was clarifying the previous question. The person was a husband of an international student having an open work permit. So on that question, Nava replied that it depends. It's a very specific situation, so I think Ovidio should reach out to Nava specifically, and you can discuss more details about this case.
Yes, but just to make it short, it will not prevent him or her to apply for C11 if they are already in Canada.
Okay. We have a good question. We haven't touched on this. You have mentioned that it's important to have more than 50%, like it's recommended. So two partners cannot do this program.
We do not advise that.
Okay.
It could be a partner. It could be a Canadian partner that doesn't need that work permit, that is already a permanent resident or a citizen of Canada, that will get maybe 20 up to 30% of your shares, but not two applicants from overseas.
Okay. And then I'm going to go with the last question because we're 7 minutes over. Leila says, thanks, Nava, for answering some questions. So she's recapping on the process. So you do the research, you do the business plan, you apply for the LMIA under C11 exemption with the full documentation, you get the LMIA and then apply for the work permit.
No, this is not an LMIA application.
Okay.
Sorry for my straightforward answer.
No, that's
this is
what
an LMIA exempt work permit. So
okay.
That's the value of this application, is that you do not need to go through an LMIA. That's LMIA exemption code C11. So, and that's also the reason why it may be faster than other work permits, because we do not need to first go to an LMIA, wait for the LMIA to be approved, and then apply for the work permit. We prepare the application, so we do the market research, we do the business plan, we incorporate the business, we do business development, we prepare and submit the work permit application. That's the process. Okay, and our firm can represent our clients from A to Z for the work permit renewal, for permanent residency, and later on for the passport as well.
Okay, great. I see that there are a lot of people asking about the market research, the preliminary step that we take before the business plan. So we'll be happy to check your comments and also share with you what we offer, what it entails, how much it costs, etc. And I know everybody has a lot of questions, so I encourage you to send them directly to Nava. And if they are related to the business plan, of course, related to us, you have our information. So I want to take this opportunity to remind everybody about Nava's email, and also to thank you, Nava, for accepting this invitation. It has been super insightful. I could not have imagined a better way to have explained the program. I really, really appreciate you accepting our invitation for this webinar.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you for organizing all of this. Thank you for the people who participate actively. Such a pleasure. Thank you very much to all of you.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for joining. You're going to receive a recording as soon as the live event is over. You're going to receive an email so you can check any of the details that Nava went through. And then any questions that you have, please reach out to Nava or us. Thank you so much. Thank you for the Joorney team. Thank you, Nava, and thank you for everybody who registered. Bye. See you soon.